Hello, everybody. What is up? I am Andy, and this music's way too. Let me chill that out for you. Sorry. There you go. Smooth jazz, much more our speed, isn't it? Let's be honest, everybody. Hello, what's up, everybody? I'm Andy, from Glass Half Dead. I no longer say that thing because I feel like it has worn itself out. So I think I'll probably go back to the double hello from now on. Actually, so with that in mind. If you're here, I'd like to give you a subscriber-only benefit, and that benefit is a big double hello. Wow, so wholesome. Truly the wholesomeness knows no bound in the world of Glass Half Dead. There you go. A return to the great. There you go. Isn't that going to be fun for everybody involved? So today I'm going to talk. Basically, I've played like 5 games in the last week, so I just thought I'd talk about those because I've got nothing else to talk about. Because Kill Team News is now gone for 3 months. I was just back to having a chat. So I played 5 games. So I'll give you recaps of those if I get around to it. And I've also, but obviously, we're going to start on hobby and chats about that. Inaudible, is it? Oh dear. Crazy. Okay. Well, I can increase the sound a smidge. We'll see. So I'm going to talk. I'm going to start on hobby because, of course, that's what we've all got to come here to talk about. It's about hobby and a few things about the Kill Team Heroes. I suppose we could have a little natter about upcoming teams that we're going to find out on the 18th of July. Anyway, we've got Chaos Mistress in the chat. Hello. We've got Eddie. Followed in straight behind her, if you know what I mean. Hello, Eddie. Hello, Chaos Mistress. Good to see you both. I'm keeping well, thank you. Ish. The weather's chilled out a bit this week, but we're going back up again for the weekend, so it's going to be a rough one. Got to go into London on Wednesday. I think it's going to be brutal, so that's great. Hello, Fallout Boy. Hello, Count Poor. Hello, Anthony Wilson. Hello, Kiwi Commander. Louis Top, I already got your message there. Hopefully you can hear the smooth jazz at the moment. It does tend to be a bit smooth. Let me know. Tabletop Impulse missed the pirate sound. Not to worry, improving the Monday already. Glad to see it. You didn't stream last week. I didn't want to pry. Why not? I was going to do some hobby. And then I didn't. I think I played Warcraft instead. So actually, maybe don't stream again this week. Because Warcraft 3 is amazing. I probably shouldn't talk too much about Warcraft 3. But damn, what a game. What a game. Has not aged. Crisp. We've got Brian Brannan. Good morning. At least still on the West Coast. Good morning to you. It's 7:30 in the PM over here. Just in time for the double hello from Crimson. Any ideas when we might get a new data slate? I've heard sometime in July. Honestly, I have no idea. Aren't they kind of staggering these by like a month? It's not a full month and a half, is it? But yeah, I would assume July. There you go. I really don't know. I have not paid any attention to timings of these things, but they are consistently 3 months apart. So we can go back and look at when the last one was, and it'll be 3 months from then, within like 1 or 2 weeks of that, I would assume. Jay, hello babe. I say hello babe back. Eddie Samis, cannot wait for that. Saturnine Terminators. Ooh yeah, but though that's an expensive box. I vaguely wanted the Dread from that box, right? I wanted the Dreadnought, and I was like, yeah, sure. I make rash purchasing decisions on a regular basis. I could go with that. That price tag officially goes above my I'll make a rash purchasing decision level. So I just will not buy it now, which is fine, obviously. But yeah, that's a sweet £200 gone from GW Vault coffers there. Because it's too high. If it was, I was expecting 180. If it had been 160, I'd have been in. but 195 for to be clear, for something I'm not really looking for, right? Like I don't need it. I don't play Horus Heresy. I don't care too much. So the fact that it's missed me is fine. If I was a Horus Heresy person, like if Hivestorm had been 200, I'd been like, yeah, okay, that's fine. Because I want to get a kill team. But yeah, no, that's a bit much for me, unfortunately. Hello, Fallout Boy. Hello of Mice and Dice from Florida, in fact. Big Dilly 79. Very or better have some fun rules, because, yeah, that's a really bland team, isn't it? We're going to be talking about them. We're going to be talking about them, don't you worry. Be raining here in Scotland. I know. Who would have guessed? Who would have guessed? You know, I will say, you were too hot. Tabletop Impossible. It was warm. Yeah. Even here, so, even when it was 30 outside, actually, I was fine. As long as I just point my fan at me, right? Then it's fine. I could easily go up another 5 degrees, no issues. But as soon as I turn that off so that it isn't constantly, so you don't get wind noise in the microphone. No. Instant, like, heat death of the universe within my house. Let me tell you that. So, yeah. Couldn't handle it. So, very understandable. You're trying your first co-op game soon. We're using Typhon rules, but I'll add an initiative system as you recommended. Very, very good, very good. How many Hormigons, Barbagons, Ravenous should I use? So it's a challenge but possible. So, I mean, the official answer is you're meant to use 90 wounds, 90 wounds. But then it's very hard to know who you are and how good you are and how much of a thing you need. Like how much of a challenge you need, you know. So some people will say you want more like 120, which is fine. I'm very flex when I'm not playing versus somebody else. Start with 90, start with 100, and if you mow down 60% of them in one go, say, oh, you know what, actually, now we have spawn points and they all respawn, right? You know, like, just be a bit flexible with it, I would say. Be willing to go with the flow. That's how I would do it. That's because I'm quite comfortable with the rule set, maybe. I've done no hobby since Stilt Guy. Oh, yeah, no. Oh, no. Because he used up most of my annual hobby quota alone. I need a break. Yeah. Understandable. AdMech. A lot of little bits. A lot of little bits and bobs. Thank you, Stephen. Fallout Boy, what do you think of my favourite game, Necromunda? Necromunda's a good game. I have no real complaints about the core mechanics of it. Apart from, of course, as my patrons know, because I recently did for the patrons, which will come out on the main channel soon, whenever. I don't know. It's a filler video. Like, most toxic rules from each of GW's games. And, of course, Necromunda's one. Can you guess what I'm claiming as the most toxic rule from Necromunda? I shan't say it. It'll be a surprise for the video, but I do say it. But in general, I do actually quite like the Necromunda system. I just think that, unfortunately, obviously, it requires a real social contract with your opponent. And you have to be on the same page about why you play games, which is quite difficult, I think. But yeah, no real criticisms there, apart from the one criticism of the system that I say in that video. Hello, Jin of the Sheep. How's it going, Matt? Brian Brannon, I feel like I know the answer, but do you have any interest in the Horus Heresy Saturnine release? I think I just answered that. So there you go. Good. Yes. Typhon just came out 2 weeks ago, so I think September. No, so Dante, that's going to be for the next box. The next box will be September, October. I think he was asking specifically about the balanced data slate. So the big rebalance. Of course, before we continue, I am going to do a quick Hydratus Dominatus to everybody. Today we have a Freeway Tropical Crush. Now you might be thinking, this isn't black carbonated sludge. No, it's yellow. Would it be yellow carbonated sludge? I don't know what color it would be. There we go. Hydratus Dominatus. Well done, everyone. Well done, everyone. Don't forget to stay hydrated. Very important. Eddie doesn't play Horus Heresy either. I guess if he likes big shoulder pads, then you can still get it, you know? Do you think GW will put out a new edition of Mordheim? Ugh. I do not believe that it is currently on the cards this year. Next year? Who knows? I don't think we're getting it this year. I think we're getting a missed Warcry release. I don't think anything's replacing it. And we're just down again. My hot take. I think Warcry is dead-a-roni, so to speak. The reason I've been getting Horus Heresy is for a 40k Space Marine army. That makes a lot of sense. If you just want tactical marines, sure. The fan noise, agreed. I want to get the Necromunda so badly, but there doesn't seem to be any players. No, people don't play Necromunda. Count Paul, you've misunderstood the purpose of Necromunda. No, you don't play games. You collect them. That's the hobby. There you go. Brian talks to Dante. I know we've speculated on the theme of the next major terrain drop for Kill Team, but what do you think the layout of the terrain will be? Tight space, really open, any guesses? So, I have no idea. However, if I were to speculate wildly, I think we are going to get an interior of a Necron ship. And if you go back and you look at the Pariah Nexus boards from before this is Kill Team 2021, the last kill zone, if you want to term it that, for that was Pariah Nexus, and it was indeed not a Necron ship, a Necron tomb, and it was an iteration of the arena boards. However, they had more open spaces. There you go. So I reckon they're going to do that. And since we have no way to know anything, let's just assume they're going to do what they did in the past. Got no clue. But I think that'd be quite cool, to be honest. If enough of us use your link to buy said box, maybe you can own a box of your own. Won't you get a box from GW to review it, or is it strictly Kill Team? No, so Eddie, at this point, if I were to be getting a box of that, they would have sent it to me, because there you go. So I do not get Horus Heresy, it turns out. They also didn't send me Age of Sigmar Skaventide. Highly weird. Them not sending me Horus Heresy, I totally get. Them not sending me Age of Sigmar is really weird, especially when you consider it has Spearhead in. So I don't really know. Yeah, that was a weird choice. I don't know why. And I can't talk to them. I can't ask them questions. I've got no clue. There you go. They either send me stuff or they don't. And that's what... It's terrifying. It's genuinely terrifying. Like, the next Kill Team release, I might just not get it. And I won't know until you guys... until the reviews go up from everybody else. And it's just like, oh, I didn't get it. Okay. Because I don't talk to anybody that gets stuff. It's just me. So I just don't get it. It's like, oh, all right. Okay. That is always a possibility. And it has happened in the past where they just forgot to send me stuff. So there you go. I think the Necron terrain will be way more open considering how tight Gallowdark and Volcus was, and they need open... I hope so, Brian. Yeah, something... I don't know. Plastic Eater says there are two types of Necromunda players, those that don't go to my store and those that don't play Necromunda. A Venn diagram of two separate circles. Lovely. I started investing in HH so I can use my 40k army, but I'm happy to play AH games for a change. I've never played HH, but I hear it's fine if you like that thing, I guess. I tend to like tokens and status effects, and so the fact that adding that into the new edition probably means I relatively like the new edition. I generally hear things over on the Legions Imperialis side are actually pretty solid. So back in the day, you had an underhive table permanently set up in your house. That's very impressive. Nice. Few friends recover their gangs in time to play. Sweet. Got my Plague Marines done and posted them on the Discord. Lovely. Got a couple games with them so far. It's been fun. Lost my game. First game to Vespid. Wow. Well, you know, that's an interesting one. Firstly, I don't know how they killed you. I assume they rolled hot. Secondly, Death Guard are an anti-melee team. Vespid don't melee. So, you know, maybe. In Necron, a toxic rule. Webbers, especially if you span with 4 or more. You've thought too advanced. You've thought too advanced. Way more basic. Plus, I'm happy you like the game. Hydratus Dominatus. Oh, we're that far back. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll get there. I'll catch up soon. Necromunda First Edition came out when I was 17. My gang of Escher Jews were painted with wet t-shirts. Nice. Nice. Oi. I'll drink to that. In fairness, the hives of Necromunda are probably relatively damp. So it tracks. It tracks. I mean, they're the Escher. It's fine. You can paint them that way. I don't judge you for over-sexualizing Escher. That's fine. You are absolved of your sins, my child. In 2022, Heresy launched in June to early summer and Warcry late in August. Yep. This year, Heresy is launching midsummer, so I agree there's no other big edition launch happening this summer. Yes, I feel like if Warcry was coming, it would have been announced in this upcoming big summer preview. It's the perfect timing to shout it out, especially if we're getting a kill team shout out, which we assume is going to be our September-October drop. Awkward. Wartime would be a nice way to pad the Tau sales, but they'll probably make an AOS spiritual sequel. Yeah, for sure. I'm expecting an AOS spiritual sequel that will be much more Necromunda, but in Sigmar. But obviously, hopefully streamlined or something. But yeah, I wouldn't expect it to just use Warcry rules, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to do a video on it at some point. But yes. Yeah. There's a lot of interesting things about Warcry and why it failed, I think. I'm pretty excited to see the new Ultramarines versus Ultramarine box set in the Ultramarine Tomb. That's going to be fire. I'm looking forward to it. That explains my shelves of minis, but only like 1 game a month. You're doing the hobby correctly. Hell yeah, rock on. New edition of AOS would make sense. Spearhead seems to be very successful for that line too. Yes. But they didn't send it to me. That's what I was referring to there. Hence me being confused. Let's just hope the next train is good. Volcus has been pretty solid. To be fair, been pretty solid. Brian says, bit busy with other stuff today, Andy. Just wanted to drop and say hello. Hello, Brian. I'll drink to that. Thank you. Hydratus Dominatus. The follow-up. Yeah, so I've considered that. The thing is, there's only possible negatives. Don't get me wrong. I could do like a cool show where people jump in, ask a question, and then I answer it in chat for 5 minutes and then cut them off. Which is fine, but odd as it might sound, if I wanted something to do when I stream, I would just do hobby, or I'd play a computer game, to be honest with you. So, yeah. Have you heard of the Gunpla new game? Yes. Do you think with cheaper, really good plastic, they have a chance to make it in the wargame market? Yeah, so obviously it's much cheaper than GW. Here's the thing, and I thought about this a lot recently. I don't like... So I like mechs. Mechs are cool. Big robots. Big is better. Love it. I don't like Gunpla. And I was thinking, well, if I don't like that style of mech, what style of mech do I like? Because and you know, I figured it out. The style of mech I like is from Visions of Escaflowne. That is the mech stuff I actually seem to remember growing up on. Guyver and Visions of Escaflowne. Give me those mechs. I don't like Gunpla at all. I think their mechs look crap. There you go. Soz. Jin says even he got Skaven died. I don't know how you did, but congrats. I mean, I bought it. I just wasn't sent it for free to review, to be clear. Volkers was literally everything I ever wanted from Kill Team Terrain. This effectively brought a lot of my favourite terrain features from Necromunda into an official Kill Team layout. Yeah, it's great terrain. It is very heavy, dense, but that's what GW wants the game to be. He needs to drive YouTube engagement numbers, though. I do, Ryan. I don't think that's the main reason I'm not talking to people on Discord, though. I don't believe you don't have the GW contacts. You're the best kit. No. I have them. They just don't respond to me. Like, I have, like, I don't know what they're called, but, like, my community manager. I have his email. He sends me emails. Just when I send him emails to ask a question, they do not respond. That's all I'm saying there. Which is fine. I'm not like saying bad things about it. That's just pretty much the reality. So yeah. But also, if they're not going to send me something, they won't tell me, by the way, we're not sending you this. I just hear nothing, is more what I meant there. What if they send a variable box, you don't get the full team? Yes. I agree. That's crazy. So they did not send me the Warcry Heroes box. So maybe they won't send me the Kill Team Heroes box. But they did send me the last, the Angels of Death Kill Team box. So I really don't know. But they did send, I know that they did send, I think, to reviewers, the Warcry Heroes box. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of assume they won't send it to any kill teamers because it's not a kill team product. It's a 40k hobby product, not a kill team rules product. Agree that I've never heard of literally another kill team channel on YouTube. I've been devouring the back catalogue of content recently, and this channel rules. This channel does rule, as in I talk about rules. Correct. Horus Heresy plays like 3rd, 5th edition, which I like because it reminds me of the time when I had hope and my joys didn't hurt. Ah, yes. The days before you realised that capitalism ruled your life and was destroying the world. Good times, good times. Oh, they rolled hot. I hate fire rules in Necromunda. Talking about the people. Evening on the Necromunda, I'm guessing it is about cover 50%. Oh, that's a good guess. But no. Afternoon Glasgow, staying cool over there. It's not too bad today, actually. It's a mere 23.8. We call it 24. A mere 24 degrees in here today. So we're okay. Outside, a bit warmer, but it's fine. I'm surviving. After the highs of 30 on last weekend, last week, I'm chilled. Well, an absolvement of my teenage Escher sins. Yes, you are welcome, my kind child. Oh yeah, I bought EC plans to get back. We're going to talk about EC in a moment. Kill Team having eating my hobby time. Preferred Warcry to Underworlds. Yeah, I think everyone did. And how Underworlds is still going, I do not know. Yeah, my hobby time is split between them. Trying to get my Kill Teams painted. I only have 9 to work on. You're almost done. It's basically nothing. Of Mice and Men Dream Kill Team release. Unless your Dream Team is already out, and if so, which one is it? Death Watch with the multi-kit version of it being Chaos Death Watch. Boom. You're welcome, GW. Take that one. Wes S says, just here for the eye candy. I will be talking about Wes S and his the game we had on the weekend. I had 2 games with Wes on the weekend. I won both of them. But you could say that we won both of them, in a sense. But I was always a Slanesh player. It's nice to have so much now, so I don't need to kit bash myself to get it looking like I want it. Yes, I didn't pay too much attention to the Emperor's Children release, because I don't know, that the color scheme doesn't work for me, right? So pink and purple are really weird colors for my poor colorblind eyes, and they didn't really jump out. And then because I wasn't interested in that, and I'm not like inherently super interested in Emperor's Children, and everything I've heard about them sounds like they played it super safe for what Slanesh is meant to be. So I'm a little bit like, fine. So I haven't looked into it much. I assume there's a way that Emperor's Children can look absolutely awesome, but I haven't paid attention to it. However, I mean, I have just bought Fulgrim and Noise Marines and Tormentors. So let me show you Fulgrim for funsies. Here we go. So it's not going to focus, is it? Of course not. So obviously I've done a nice crackle purple base, and I've only done the bone to begin with. The reason I like the boners so much is because all it is, so firstly, it looks like it's a thing, firstly, right? However, this is actually just slap drop, right? So I can either leave it like this and it's bone armor and bone skin and bone cloth and whatever, or I can then do stuff. But if I say, actually, I want to do everything purple, I literally just paint the purple over the top of the bone armor that I decide to do. So it's very quick to get the model finished in bone scheme, and then it's done. But I can also say, you know what? A year later, I want to now do purple, and I don't have to do anything. I can just continue painting, because this is just colored slap job. I've done them all this way. I bought all of the Demon Primarchs, and I've done them all bone. Because I'm cool like that. Sorry, right, where was I? I'm not going to miss talking about Escaflowne mechs, that's for sure. Or is this Slanesh player? Yep. Simple mech game. I had a quick look at Steel Rift, but again, the mechs didn't speak out to me, and the miniatures didn't look particularly super duper. Yeah. Bunch of the Bandai Gundam minis. Game stuff pre-order. That's cool. Escaflowne mechs are so cool. I agree with you there. I think Bandai would break the market if they used their tech to make cooler models. Yeah. A lot of people seem to like them. Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty good if you got Skaven Tide for free. It was a lovely box. I have bought multiple more things. Like, if you're on the Skaven side for that, you just want like 2 of the box, really. Community management is so hard to do well. Sadly, GGW didn't do anything on hungry. Yes, I went through a phase of, I tried different, what's the word? Communication styles. I tried being really, really short and to the point, like 3 words, you know, that level, thinking that they're really busy. So the shorter I can make it, the better. And then kind of nothing from that. Then I tried really long and like super like this is the reason, this is, you know, blah, blah, blah. Like essentially putting across a business case. They ignored that. I was like, all right, I'm going to stop now. So there we go. Yeah, Jin. No, they just didn't give me or any of the kill teamers, it seems, Skaven Tide. Again, the reason I'm so confused or weirded out by it is because it literally had Skaven Tide. Spearhead. And I think that Spearhead is that really interesting little in-between game from, you know, kill team to full size. What are your thoughts on some of the rock, paper, scissors balance design that seems to be creeping its way into kill team? I don't play competitively, but still find it annoying. In my glass half ideas folder, document on Google Docs, I have a note saying rock, paper, scissors, how do you pick the best team for team tournaments? So maybe I have thoughts. But yeah. I don't know. I think it's fine. There you go. Like, I agree it's annoying. And yeah, there are some teams that are very good counters to a lot of kind of archetypes of teams. And that's just how the game is. I think that kill team's at a point where it has so many teams that you're going, and to keep everything vaguely balanced at all, you're going to get to a point where things start just countering other things. I think rock, paper, scissors is the best possible alternative to we are not a balanced game. I could be wrong. It's my hot take. Hey, I think you haven't explained your change of recording studio. Yeah, no, so I'm still just down here. This is just a green screen. There you go. That's all. We'll be looking at this stuff in a moment. Don't you worry. We've got Vario up here. So, but then I just put this up. I can put up the. There you go. It's like I'm in the old place now. There you go. At a very different time of day to what it actually is at the moment. But yeah, what we actually have behind me is just a green screen. I can be in a black void if you prefer. There you go. Hello. Welcome to the black void, aka my soul. So I thought this was a bit more visually interesting, at least. Until I get around to talking about... I guess I can have this up. There you go. We can have this up. I'll get to it eventually. Not playing competitively means you're likely to have a bad time with Kill Team 24. They've leaned so heavily into competitive balance that casual players are left behind compared to 18 and 21. No compendium option being the biggest miss in 24 for casual players. Kill Team is a very difficult game to play casually. Yeah. I think it can be played casually, but you'd have to both be playing it casually. As soon as one of you raises the stakes, then the other one either has to say, okay, I will lose the game, or also raise the stakes. It's quite challenging. Deathwatch versus Extinction Vigil. That'd be fire. I'd be down for that. Hell yeah. Rock on. I'm currently running Phobos kit bashed into Deathwatch and then planning to paint them with Slanesh colour as they've been tempted by demonettes that were sent to wipe out but got converted instead. I mean, you see 6 boobs. Who wouldn't be converted, right? That's just showing that the Space Marines are still men. Maybe Underworlds is still going because GW want a presence in the hybrid board miniatures game market segment, but feel that Spearhead is enough presence in the fantasy skirmish game market segment. Yeah, so I think, you know, the speculation online is 100% that Underworlds just hits a different market entirely. And that's why they're quite happy to continue to fund it. And I would have to speculate that as long as they continue to be some of the awesome miniatures that everybody wants to get their hands on, which the last 2 releases have not been, to be clear, but let's ignore that, then GW will continue to do Underworlds and not realise that nobody plays it and it's only selling well because people convert the models. Because that's the buying presence that the rest of GW actually has. Not for Emperor's Children rules, while technically the loyal. Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking of doing a Death Watch with the half converted Alpha Legion kit bash. But then I got into another idea, which again I'll talk about when we talk about some hobbies and Kill Team Burial. Yo, sick Fulgrim. That almost looks like a statue. It does, yes. It's not, yeah. It's not intended to be, but it works as a thing. Yes, to be clear, I won't. All of the, yeah, that I've only gotten to that bit in my process. The idea is that I will fully paint it, Fulgrim. However, they are going to have bone armor. So the actual armor on Fulgrim will remain bone. And then I am painting the rest of it. Is that right? Yes. The bone is that. And then presumably the armor will be purple and the skin like pink. I don't know. I have not thought that through. But yes. Dang, I like the unified look of those demon Primarchs actually. Yeah, so it's going to be the bone armor pieces that tie the 4 different Chaos Loci together. If I ever get around to doing this. Are they making a Gundam version of Kill Team? My understanding is yes. I think it's on a hex board, which is always cool. Deathwatch team coming. How many models do you think will be in the box? Well, it will be... Well, it should be a 10-man box. But I reckon it's going to be a 5-man box. Maybe it'll be our second 5-man team. As GW officially says that a 5-man Deathwatch is stronger than a 6-man Marine team, right? So, but if they can get away with giving us 5 models, they will give us 5 models instead of 10. And I can totally see that happen. 100%. Any plan to release stickers of your channel logo in a merch drop so I can know everyone at the game? Yes, I think they're already available. I have stickers of my channel. Of my Hydratus Dominatus, at least, and I assume that I would have enabled stickers for other things. If you look in the in all of my video descriptions, at the bottom of my huge long list of links, there is Hydratus Dominatus merch. If you click on there, that opens up a channel like Redbubble, which is like a print-on-demand thing for various merch. Click on that, and somewhere in there, there will be an option for stickers. Got you covered. There just aren't many gaming communities in my experience where the community managers are much more than a one-way flow of info and product. It's usually smaller companies whose profit needs it. Yeah, for sure. I mean, even if all these people have to do is respond to, I don't know, 100 people. If you're actually actively talking to all 100 people, that is a full-time job. And then they have to do an actual job on top of it. And all of these places, because I have looked at these kind of job postings before, actually talking to the reviewers is like 1 line in your 20 bullet point job description. So I totally understand why I get ignored, basically. Yeah. No KT, but I tried a Cyberpunk skirmish game at the weekend at my local game store. It was really cool. Nice. I've heard good things about the Cyberpunk Red skirmish game, I think. 30 minutes late, but you're here. Hello, Daniel Green. The Void calls to me. Yes, it does. Can we get a double hello? We already have one, unfortunately. You missed it, but if you listen back, you may have hear it. Yeah, yeah. Are you coming to the Vegas Open by any chance? Almost certainly not. No. The Underworld's played to White Dwarf are an auto skip for me every time. That's a bit of a shame. Bit of a shame. Yeah, not intending to do any American tournaments this year. Maybe next year. Maybe in 3.5 years. You know, depending on the climate, we shall see. What would be your dream job if GW gave you a golden ticket in the company? I don't know, some sort of just, you know, ridiculous. I get to just do things entirely on my own, whatever I want. I would like to write the lore and write the game mechanics and tell people what to, you know, and not have to be dictated by what the modelers decided to model that day. And instead I can just do what I want and make them model for me, you know, that kind of thing. So I think the same as everybody. Yeah, I was going to say, like, some sort of, they give me all the money, I guess. Oh, we've had a Hydratus Dominatus donation from Academic Chris for $1.99. Thank you, Hydratus Dominatus, to you, sir. In time for SFZ Talk. Strike Force Vari? I thought it was V. Have I misunderstood SFZ? Yeah, it's Vario, isn't it? I don't know what SFZ is, if I'm honest. Considering my next purchase, either Deathwatch Vets, Future DW, Kit Bash, Lieutenant Titans, or Bullgrins for Rattlings. Ooh, well, I would say not Deathwatch Veterans, unless you really want the mini Marine Deathwatches. Because again, I am expecting that on the 18th of July, we have Deathwatch announced. And we will then get to see the new models, right? That's, yeah. That's my guess. So maybe not them. Titus is a very questionable model. I bought him. He looks better in person than online, but he still doesn't look good. And if you have Rattlings, you need Bullgrins. So it's going to be Bullgrins. It's going to be, I'm a big bull guy, if you will. Big Bullgrin guy. Yes, a wise travel choice, unfortunately, which is a real shame. Because, you know, I've been to LVO, I've been to SoCal Open. Back in the day. These were good days. But, yes. I was also more into the competitive scene and wanting to, you know, play at a higher level at those points. So, you know, I'm no longer that, but it could be tied into things and reasons. But probably not this year. I need to kind of grind myself up to kind of be good enough to play abroad, if that's part of the reason for going abroad, you know. Thought it was Zariel. One more wild question. If you choose a single kill team to craft an 8-episode series of on Amazon, which would you choose? A single kill team? Kill Team Andy. It's just 8 of me. Oh, so I guess that's Alpha Legion, isn't it? Which would therefore be Angels of Death. No, I don't know. 8-episode series of on Amazon. Single kill team. Narratively, the best kill team is Blooded, because you could have every model have a flashback episode where you're seeing how they turned. I don't like Blooded, but that would be narratively the most, like, the easiest thing to write. The mystery figure pose looks identical to the single model Primaris Lieutenant in Phobos armor release, which is identical pose and so hard to build, right? Does it? Who are we looking at? Did you mean this guy? Because that's not the same pose. Not this guy. He's too cool. Not that guy. I don't see anyone immediately popping up who is what you've just described, to be clear. But okay. Bullgrin it is. You're welcome. The contact point of right foot into the room was tiny. That holds up the whole model. Oh, you do mean this guy. Not that. Not that. This guy? Am I on crack? Are we looking at different pictures? This? What? I'm so confused. Oh, you mean Reaver Lieutenant? Okay. Well, he's not popping up for me. But yeah, okay. Fair enough. Honestly, an Aquilon team series. Yeah, Aquilons would be cool. But I feel like Aquilons are yeah. You obviously have the cool action scenes where you get the hot drop in, but yeah, narratively they're just brainwashed child soldiers. And it's like, yeah, you know, we've seen that 1,000 times, right? Just put it 2 days before the heroes reveal. Okay, I'm not seeing it. So, Kill Team, let's enshrinkify me. Here we go. Here we go. Game delay late to the stream, but I looked at the new models and thought I can literally build all of those with what I have in my basement. Why would I want those? But it's not there for me, mate. Not there for me. So, good. Right? Like, these are all really... I mean, they're Space Marines, and Space Marines are cool. But if you're thinking about, like, unique sculpts, these are all really boring. There's nothing particularly interesting about them. Therefore, they are, in a sense, the best possible product for Kill Teamers because... And to be in a gacha box where you aren't guaranteed to get them because you don't need to buy them. We're going to get the rules for free in the app. And then we just use models we already have. You know? Like, this is great in a sense. And I would argue that because this is not a single box product that you can purchase from GW, it is going to force the sticklers in the community that are anti-proxy and anti-hobby and anti-conversion to have to seriously consider, are they that anti-hobby, and do they perhaps need to slacken their rules a little bit, allowing their communities to be a little bit more kind of free in their hobby. I hear bad things about Italy for some reason. But yeah, there's always one Italian guy who's like, oh, they don't let any proxies, no conversions. You have to have the model. Otherwise, you can't play that team. And I think that's really bad. And I'm hoping that maybe stuff like this, where you literally cannot buy it as a box product, like, would force such a strict community as that to say, okay, guys, actually, Strikeforce Varial, you can proxy. And then maybe that will slowly seep out and allow a few more crazy things to change. You've posted it in the Discord. They don't look the same. Am I... I mean, I get what you're saying, to be clear, but they're not the same pose. This guy is leaning forwards with his knife like this in front of his face, and his gun to the back. This guy's like, yeah, these are not the same pose. That's all I'm saying. I would say very different. Firstly, hands are swapped. Totally different pose. But fair enough. Okay. Well, my browser didn't like this. Oh, GW. This is not the same pose. Okay. All right. I'm done looking at this. These are completely different models. I don't know what you're seeing. I'm seeing something else. There you go. Cool. So what's going on with the hero boxes? You mentioned something about identifying the models using tracking codes. Yeah, so in the Warcry Heroes box, basically the side of the little box, they all have a different barcode. There you go. But the barcode is the same for each model. So online for the Warhammer Heroes, people were collating just different, like, if the box has this barcode, it is this model, that kind of thing. So you could go into a store with a full case, look at the barcode on each box and say, I want this one model. It's a lot of hassle, but you could do it. So these are kind of cool though, but yeah, they could definitely be built with models already have. Yes, agreed. Anti-hobby box people must be fun at parties. Yes. Who knows? Who knows, right? All I know is a press-to-fit version in that pose will be massively easier to assemble. I love that Phobos Reaver Lieutenant. He's like my favourite model. I hope that this guy is just that model. That would be awesome. I will 100% pay £8 to buy that instead of £20. I would buy 10. Selfishly, I'm happy I bought Reavers for my Phobos and Sturgar vets. Very nice. The pistol is different. Yep. Pose. Yep. More boxes. Would I need to get all the models? I own Crease and Kin, so no idea on Space Marines. Good question. Too many. Even though we all like to look at this and say, oh, it's just Marines. Oh, you know, it's whatever. It's like, yeah, this is a lot of models. If you're trying to just go out and buy all of these and you don't already have them lying around, this is like 6 boxes, which is going to cost you, what? How much do 6 boxes of things cost now? 200 quid? Something like that? 180 quid? So, awkward. Bit awkward. Okay. Not happy about loot boxes, but everyone's saying they don't look that great. Doesn't completely make sense. These are cool Space Marines long. So, Timothy, these are Space Marines, and Space Marines are cool, but I would argue that these are not good additions to what already exists, right? If you look at the Nurgle heroes, the Plague Marine heroes, they are stunning. They are truly unique, interesting sculpts, very different to the Plague Marine box you can buy default. These are just more Space Marines in a slightly different pose. They look good because they are Space Marines, but they do not look good as additional Space Marines, if that tracks for you. You to kill him have the Raveners team. Would they be good to start out with, or the Tempest? Raveners are perfect to start with. Use them. 100%. I wish the Flamer was a gunner that could have different loadouts. Maybe a plasma like a proper DA, but I know that will not be the case. Nope. Unfortunately. Repos and kitbash everything anyway, need only rules. Well, there you go. You'll be sorted. We get those the Wednesday before release, maybe, if we're lucky. Leviathan star set and a Phobos strike team. Oh. Yes, because the Leviathan star set comes with multiple things, doesn't it? Hydratus Dominatus. So, let me tell you my idea of what this is. So, I saw this and I thought, oh, that's cool. What do I want to do for it? And at the time, okay, I won't tell you the inspiration, but I was thinking for whatever reason, I want to do a chaos version. Well, no, sorry. I was thinking I want to do a like chapter specific version. So it could have been Dark Angels. It could have been Blade Guards, something. I wanted to do the elite guys. Normal guys are boring. I wanted to do the elite guys in some form. And so what do you got? You've got 3 guys who are Phobos armor. You've got 3 guys who are regular armor, and well, you've got 4 guys who are regular armor. You've got 4 guys who are regular armor. Okay, so that's immediately splitting them into different groups. Armor type. Then you've got different guns for the Phobos armor. You've got Infiltrator. You've got Reaver Carbine. And you've got Pistol Sword. Or Pistol and Knife, right? It's like, okay, those are... so you would need to get an armor type which has 3 possible different loadouts. That's quite a challenge. That is quite a challenge, let me tell you. But okay, fine. Then you've got your Flamer. You've got your Melee. You've got your regular Bolter. And you've got your Melter. This is actually quite a challenging team to proxy for without buying loads and loads of bits. So, my thoughts were chaos. And then you got the questions. How do you define different armor types? And how do you define different loadouts? Because, for example, Chaos simply do not have an Infiltrator versus a Reaver with a Carbine. So what do you do? Let me tell you my thoughts. I thought, okay, what's Phobos armor? Phobos armor is fast. It's lighter armored. It's faster. So which of the Chaos Gods has lighter, faster armor? Well, that's going to be your Emperor's Children, right? Because they don't have lighter armor, but they are the fast faction. They're the 7-inch move instead of the 6-inch move. Cool. Well, the Tormentors and whatever their other thing is, Infractors, obviously, they can be built with either melee and pistol, so pistol and blades, that's your leader, or they can be built with different guns, or so guns. They also have access to a plasma and a melter. So it's like, okay, all right, that's, you know, that's getting me thinking. And then we go, so, I mean, this guy's obvious, right? Assault Intercessor? Yeah, great. Khorne Berserker, obviously. Done. Done and dusted. No need to think about that one. Excellent. Then we have a Flamer and an Intercessor. Now, for these, I thought the best option, keeping in mind that you don't actually need all of these because you're only going to be able to take 6, not the 7 shown. So you're probably actually going to be dropping one of these 2. Actually, sorry, you're probably going to drop the Carbine because a Carbine special is accurate 1, which I will forever make fun of. Maybe if he was accurate 1, not punishing, what's the other one? I've literally forgotten. Severe. Anyway, that's the thing to think about. So, I reckon Emperor's Children are going to cover your Phobos armors. Khorne Berserkers are your Assault Intercessor. On that, get to that in a moment. And then you've got your Intercessor and your Infernus Intercessor, right? I think these are the ones that are going to be your Rubric Marines. Because obviously a Rubric Marine just standing here, chilling, he's got a bolter. But your Rubric Marine here, Flamer. Right? That makes sense. Either way, you're looking at this team and you see the Egyptian dude ranged. Cool. Makes sense. Makes sense. Now, again, the leader here, the actual leader, that would be one of these guys. I don't quite know how you're differentiating here between a carbine and an infiltrator. I think you're going to have to bling one of them up. I'm not really sure. I have to think about that. Yeah. Not sure. If you have ideas, let me know. I've already built the team, so I need to think about it and rip some arms off, I think, because I forgot that I had to differentiate that. And then we have this guy, the sergeant. I'm not quite sure what to do with him, but the logical answer has to be obviously Death Guard. I just don't know what from Death Guard. So an obvious answer is just Plague Marines. And then use something else to indicate a melter. Right? Like, that's okay. I have these guys lying around, but they're all too big. And then nothing else is really jumping out. So if we go into the Plague Marine kit, what defines a melter? You've got this. It doesn't look super melt. Or this. Is this a melter? That's the heavy bile splurge gun they've got. I know. That's their medium bile splurge gun they've got. I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. But one of those is the way to go. Probably. But either way, they'd be painted with green. They'd be painted very differently. And they will also have very different armor. So whatever I go with, it will be very clear, hey, the Plague Marine is the Sergeant. Done. The Rubric Marine is the ranged. The Emperor, the Khorne guy is the melee. The Emperor's Children are, I don't know, I'll figure it out later down the line. Are the Phobos armor, you know? That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Haven't quite figured it out yet, but it's where I'm headed with my thoughts. There's a box of these guys too. I would love a Grey Knights team, I agree. I would like Grey Knights demons coming in the next box, yes. Strike Force Victor Meldrew. I don't get that, but I could Google it and find out. Agreed that these are not exciting minis compared to Plague Marines. I'm hoping they're a bit easier to play than Phobos and are close to Plague Marines in power level and playability. Yeah, until we see those rules, who knows, right? But they're Marines. They can't be that bad, you'd hope. Which small rule change do you wish from next edition? I do not know. I don't think I have one small rule that would change things hugely. The game is what the game is. It's all about what do you want the game to be, and the game is what it is. And I just feel like, yeah, I don't know. If they go further down one avenue or another, then the game becomes something else. And so for me to sit here and say, oh, they should change this about the game, it's like, okay, well, so you actively want the game to be something different. It's not like I'm saying, oh, they should do this. It's like, nope, change. Is now a different game. However, if I had to just throw something out there, they clearly still need to work on line of sight in some form. It's still the most commonly asked question out there, right? I haven't even built Reaver Carbine for myself. Nobody would, bro. It's a terrible gun. We'll build one now for Varial, but I expect to rarely use. I imagine this is the one you don't take, right? Unless he's got, like, grenades. I already have the Sturgard Sergeant and the Flamer Dude from Leviathan. Nice. You're locked in then. 20 model Deathcore. Playing Varial as an EC kill team makes a ton of sense. Yeah, part of them easy. In 40k, Infected and Torments have Scout and Infiltrate rules to make them sneaky. Yes, they do. I saw that. I didn't understand that their basic battle line is fully Infiltrate and Scout, which is pretty cool, but it's nice. I was thinking of going all EC, but Mixed Chaos Lines is actually a great idea. Well, whatever floats your boat, right? I was just thinking about... So firstly, we're never going to get a fully mixed Chaos team, because GW is actively moving away from the idea that Chaos can mix, right? They've removed it from Demons, or they will be. They're removing it from Chaos Codexes. Souping as Chaos is now really quite challenging. Always has. It has been for a while, but clearly, if we're looking at how they do it in Age of Sigmar, they are trying to move away from it, you know? And they're bringing that over, that philosophy over to 40k as well. So we're never going to get it in Kill Team. So how can we do it ourselves? Well, you know what? If you're going to proxy these, which we are, because we're not going to buy it, because we can't, would be my guess. Also, for those that forgot, getting your hands on Strikeforce Justin was really challenging. Like, it was really hard to get hold of. So, even if you want these exact models, good luck. You might not be able to. So, I was thinking, how can you differentiate more? You know, how can you help your opponent understand what's what on the board? Entirely different armor shapes, plus the color that goes on that armor. It's pretty... You can't ask for much more than that. It's going to look more different than these, you know? All Chaos Undivided. It's more like a Chaos Highly Divided, but yes, correct. If the Reaver comes with a Grapnel, I'm going to take him for mobility reasons. Maybe. I guess. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, you know, we'll see. I struggle to see how... Well, sorry. I obviously can understand how anything can be made to work. You can make any gun work, even when the base is just a bolted with accurate one. You know? Should I buy a bunch of kits and do all these guys as different Lawyers chapters Death Watch? Sure, yeah. I mean, I would imagine that a lot of people will do that for a team like this. However, if we get announced next Friday that Death Watch is the next kill team, we are never going to see this significantly more lame team on the table, right? If Death Watch get announced before this even releases, we're never ever seeing this team, right? Which actually might be a good thing. And then this can just be a team just for, you know, the kids that want to buy a gacha box. That's not bad. That's okay. Now, dude, you make the Bolt of the Rubric and the Flamer a Death Guard. I did, yeah, so I was thinking about that for quite a while. But then, do I only want one rubric? Oh, sorry. Also, then what is the Sergeant? How do I get a Melter in there? Right? That's the big question. Looking forward to seeing your team when they are finished. They will be bone-coloured, and everybody will see them. Everybody will see my boner. Boner-coloured Marines. Obviously is what I said there. Oh, the PMs have a melter, do they? Okay. Oh, well, I'll just do that then. There you go. I mean, that seems locked in to me. Sarge has a Feel No Pain too. He does, yes. He's also not a leader, of course, which means this, the hardest model to get, is mandatory for the team, because he's your only leader. That's going to be fun. Late to the show, have we talked of D-dubs yet? Briefly, there's not huge amounts to say. We just assume they are going to be announced next Friday. Carbine Reaver might be super mobile. Well, we already know what Reavers do, and we know how mobile they are. So, sure. They might make him more mobile. I think he's a cool sculpt, to be clear. I like that he's got the, you know, the breaking, what's the word? Concrete. He looks very nimble, light on his feet. I like that. Very cool. Legionnaires are pretty chaos soup, I'd say. Yeah, they can be, but ultimately they are the same mark of armor. You're not getting a rubric, a plague marine, etc. You're getting legionary, which is fine, and I agree. In a sense, it is chaos soup, but it isn't. It's undivided, which, from a lore perspective, is very different to soup. Actually, I think I find. Yeah, it's really hard to get hold of them until they repackage most of them for a board game. Yeah, they did. I can't remember why, but yeah. I always kind of felt Legos were word bearer coded. Really? I had not put that together, to be honest. The Sorcerer, maybe, sure, whatever he's called. My biggest struggle with my 14 Phobos minis and declaring which is which when cutting down to 6 for a round is a lot of my opponents can't. Oh, yeah, no, 100%. In fairness, that is an issue with many kill teams. If your opponent doesn't actually know your team, it doesn't matter if they're holding, oh, well, this iPad that he's holding is a circle, and this one's a rectangle, and this one's looking at it to the right, whereas this one's looking at it to the left. Very different models, clearly. It's like, not really. Yes, obviously the backpacks are the thing that for Phobos you kind of have to follow, because they are actually notably different. But again, if somebody doesn't know, there is no way they'd figure that out, you know. Burial as a team, just for the sickos would be fun. Deathwatch has to be coming back to kill team in full 40k. I feel like they've been gone a long time. Yeah. Too long. I also kind of feel like an AOD addition, this team. Oh, I've seen people saying this. I just don't agree. Like, or sorry. Sure, yeah, maybe, fine. But that is not how they have handled any kill team at all, ever. So I don't know if people are actually expecting it, or they're just like, oh, this could happen. Or if they're like, oh, this is clearly going to happen. Like, it's like, it might happen, but we have nothing at all out there to think that this would ever occur. You know? It's like, you think? You make the leader an actual undivided aspiring champion. Okay. Kill team is his diverse group of mates. That's not bad. Although, I will say the leader, don't forget, is the Phobos Lieutenant, not the Stern Guard Sergeant. If we scroll down on here, we're not going to be able to zoom in enough, but Strike Force Varial is the only orange word. What's that? Veteran, Astartes, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, there's no leader there. So he is not your leader, unfortunately. So, something to consider. But yeah, I could buy another box and have one of them be just an undivided Marine, for sure. They mashed Justine into AOD. Oh yes, yeah. When they changed the edition of the game, right? And Intercession and AOD became one team. I don't think that's quite the same. It's possible though. You never know. We might be creating one big amalgamation of generic Space Marine, I suppose. Sure. And then that will be the overall Angel of Death team that lasts forever, which is a good idea. That'd be cool. Justine is the best looking team, 100%. Agreed. Which is a shame. Leader must follow Slanesh. Slanesh is king, queen. Yes. If I can be honest with you, I was a little bit disappointed with the Emperor's Children Codex. Because it's the first Emperor's Children Codex, right? And, like, they could have truly redefined what the EC stand for, and it could have been like, no, they're not just high on drugs. They're really into other things, and we could go back to a time where where perfection is what they're truly after, and it's not just a bunch of dudes sitting around huffing on, like, just ripping bongs of their own cum or whatever. And it's like, they did not do that. They doubled down that Slanesh just really like drugs. It's like, oh, all right. Is that perfection now? Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Bit of a shame. Bit of a shame, I felt. But hey, they did what they did. So there you go. Slanesh is all. Why lose any other Chaos God when there was one whose mantra is have fun above all else? That's not his rule. Is it? No. You see, Brian, some headcanon, some fanon going on there. They're about excess. Excess doesn't have to mean fun. GW is just trying to turn every Guilty player into a Space Marine collector. I think literally... No, GW is trying to just turn everyone in the world into a Space Marine collector. Nothing to do with Kill Team on this one, unfortunately. Emperor's Children have never been serious business. That's what makes them the best faction. Okay, I mean... If that's what you like about them, that's awesome. Good for you. I suppose. Fair play. Fair play. Me, you know, I always take my faction that likes to skin people and wear their skin as their own very seriously. It's a very serious notion. It's clearly talking about the death of the author. You know? Yes. Kill Team Ken. We were just slagging off Space Marines, but now that you're here, we're going to stop that because it would upset you quite a lot, I think. I think torturing others is pretty fun for you. Okay. You know what, mate? I'm going to go against the grain and say I wouldn't like to torture people. You know, clearly, I've gone woke. I don't want to torture people, but there you go. Crazy, right? Okay. With that said, what are we doing? So we've talked about my hobby. Nobody really hit me with a strong idea on how to differentiate between a Reaver with a carbine and an infiltrator with a... It's not the Oculus bolt rifle. The other one, whatever they've got. With using just the EC kit. But I will contemplate. I want it to be very obvious. So it can't just be, I put a scope on a gun, right? It's got to be really, really clear. So I will have a think about that. And I guess I'll probably stop at 9 tonight instead of 9:30. And I'm going to have a think about some games I recently played, I think. Yeah. Okay, Brian. Yeah, you've caught me on that one. Somehow I have collected over 1,000 points of Space Marines and I don't even play them. Yeah, that's just GW. Yeah. I don't think I bought any of my Space Marines. They just turned up one day. Or I bought the other half of the box, which happened to come with Space Marines, and now I'm here. Just rimming some blacks. Nice. Glad to hear it, Kill Team. Ken, that's great. Lovely. I don't know what dominating on the 20 scene is, except torturing others in the balance. That is fair, now that I think about it. Kill Team is very Slanesh coded, because the game is bloody torture to play. Yes, fair play, fair play. That is probably the best actual answer. Just don't use the carbine. Oh, sorry. Never use the carbine and the infiltrator in the same game. There you go. Whoever is the Emperor's Children with a gun, it is the one I want. Yeah. DW kill team speculation time. Redo of the veteran kit complete with a frag cannon IHB. Or one of the primaries kill team. Yeah, well, we don't know, do we? I basically want the old kit updated. With additional new options, obviously. But that's what I would like. Yeah. So all of the old cool, the frag cannon, all that stuff, and we can kit everybody out. But then enough, what GW does now is they give you enough bits to do everything you need to do with the kit, right? So like the exaction squad could be, if you wanted, fully kitted out in all shields, right, for 40k, or all shotguns for 40k. So I say, why not just do that for the Death Watch kill team? You're only going to give us 5 models in the box. We all know that. You're going to stiff us on that and still charge, you know, as much as you do for 10 models. So give us all the bits. Give us enough to give all 5 of them, you know, shields and batons, and give 5 heavy bolters and 5 heavy flamers and 5, you know, really go to town on this kit. Additionally, because if you play 40k, it is going to be the one and only kit you need to buy, and you'll have to buy so many of it. So maybe give us lots. I don't know. I would like that. That would be cool. Maybe use a Heresy Marine. Oh, a good idea, but no. No, I don't have any Heresy Marines. Can you say happy birthday to my son, Alec? He's 8 today. Hello, and happy birthday to Alec, who is 8 today. Hydratus Dominatus. I really want to know what the justification will be to not run Oops All Reavers with this team. Kagar, you will not be able to. Very similar to how Angels of Death works, you will be able to take these models. You don't get to take 5 Assault Intercessors or 5 Reavers or 5. It's just, yeah, it's a fixed team, basically. I don't believe in torturing people. It's the lowest bar for woke I've ever heard, which makes it perfect for Warhammer. Sure. In fact, it wasn't I don't believe in it. It was that I don't find it fun. So, you know, not quite the same. I would agree that EC Codex could have expanded them out past what we already knew about them, and the other factions had way more of that. I waited 30 years for a Codex. No, sure, I get you. I get you. I mean, hey, you saw my statue Fulgrim. He's looking statuesque, which I imagine is how he would like to be. So, I'm just doing him proud. And happy birthday to Alec. I'm not as cool as Andy. Turning 8 is still very fun. 8 is a great age. I wish I was 8. Charging the same for 10 to 20% larger boxes of 5 models that they also charge for a box of 10 models with more customization that's exactly what I'm thinking. In fairness, though, they also charge the same for 3 models with no customization options. So they really could go either way with it, you know? The Phobos Kill Team box is a bit cheeky since it's literally a small upgrade sprue that separates it from the regular Infrared box. Yes, Eddie. So in the last edition of Kill Team, is it half of the teams? Many of the teams are just a default GW kit plus a half sprue of upgrades like Legionary, Phobos, Deathcore, Pathfinders. There's lots of them are just, hey, to make it a kill team, here's an upgrade sprue, which tends to be an arm swap, a hand swap, maybe a head swap. Is what it is. If we're lucky, we get a different leg pose, but not too often. Thank you, you made his night. No problem to the young Master Alec. Okay, that makes sense then. Yeah. Okay, well, with 6 minutes left to go, I guess I'll briefly ponder the orbs about some games I recently played. So I played loads of games. So I had played my first ever game of Plague Marines. So I was the Death Guard. I was the Plague Marines into Nemesis Claw. Then I played 2 rounds of Mandrakes into Scouts, 1 on Into the Dark, 1 on Volcus. One on a generic open kill zone. Then I played Death Guard into Mandrakes. And then I played a game of 40k where it was kind of a co-op game, but it was Eldari versus Custodes. The reason I play co-op 40k instead of actual normal 40k is that I'm not good at the game and I don't know the rules well enough to actually do anything useful. So if I have to drive an hour and a half to get to my friend, see you, Kill Team Ken, and then get stomped for over the course of 5 hours to then drive an hour and a half home, I just won't drive to my friend, right? So we really have to find a way. Oh, and to be clear, it's not like it's a close game, a competitive game. No, it's literally I will get stomped because I just don't know how to play. So it's about finding a way to enjoy for both of us to play that game. And it does seem that co-op is the way where we both play both sides. And it's worked well so far, I would say. Oh, gosh. Typhon is released shampoo, yes. Like the Phobos block, really leaning into making the team what you wanted out of them. Really, Brian? Okay, well... Okay. You are going to be rather disappointed when my best and worst model of every kill team releases about what I say about the Phobos team, of which my patrons have already seen this video, of course. Would love a Warp Spiders team. I would also like a Warp Spiders team. That'd be very cool. Warp Spiders are cool. I don't have the new models, but they are cool. Can confirm. Wackiest upgrade sprue team is the Hearthkin salvages because a load of the parts are expected to be in the upgrade sprue on the regular sprues, including the bolt revolver, which isn't in 40k. Ah, which is pretty weird, isn't it? Okay, no. Already out. Got to go now. Shampoo Typhon was released. Yep. I just finished painting my Mandrakes, so I hope to get some matches in. I like Mandrakes. Oh. I also just remembered, look at your name. I had seen Tunda say hello, but I missed his message because of some reason. I can't remember why. So hello, Tunda. The king of Capola, I think. Yeah. But tell me what, I like Mandrakes. Mandrakes are a cool team. Very nice. Same, I want a new Bok with the 3 new sculpts. That'd be very cool. That would be very cool, actually. Yeah, yeah. So it'd be what? Fire dragons. Okay, maybe you need to workshop the idea a little bit, but sure. I'll take 8 fire dragons. Sounds good. You'd be good at boarding actions. It takes a lot from Kill Team. I'm not good at Kill Team, though. So you might have misunderstood my capabilities. Love Mandrakes. They're so mobile, plus they did neon green flames. Haha, hope you enjoy them. They're very cool. Signing off for now. See you, Eddie. Thanks again for another great stream, Andy. Good night. All see you soon. I am also going to be signing off in a moment. I'm doing till now a mere hour and a half instead of 2 hours today. Watch both of them on Patreon. Oh, okay. Well, hopefully you didn't take it too hard when I talked about the Phobos there. I'm not sure what else can be done for the last Marine in this kill team you want to make. I suggested the Marine from Heresies. It would be a... Yeah, no, that is fair. That is fair. I do think the other guy had it, though, of just never run the Infiltrator and the Carbine at the same time. That's probably the way to go, if we're being honest with each other. Just saying, as a kit basher, I enjoy a box that leans into kit bashing as heavily as the Phobos box did. Sure, I mean... It gave you bits that you can add to Phobos Marines. And again, just like with this team, Phobos Marines look awesome. I agree. But the upgrades were just a bit bleh, a bit lackluster, and that's my frustration. Not in Phobos Marines and Reavers in general, obviously. There were no Reavers though; they were all infiltrators. So there you go, and incursors. Here's the Phobos box, dude. What are the chances of another Votann kill team gambling on the fact they're getting more releases? That's a tough one, because I think everybody was kind of shocked that we already have two. Somehow, we have two Hearthkin kill teams already, which is weird, right? I don't think Good Night Chaos Mistress have a good one. I don't think they actually plan kill team releases in parallel or alongside 40k releases in any way. I think it's purely random, so I wouldn't expect those two to be related. Definitely, yes, Kaz. Indeed, I didn't get around to those games in this hour and a half, did I? What a surprise! I'll go do that for the patrons later. That will be your Patreon video. Yes. Doesn't say it would be fun. I agree. Is the Ravenous kill team decent? Yes, Tim Rob, it is. I think the Ravenous team is really good. Which isn't to say it's really powerful. I think it sits nicely, power level wise, where the game should be. You know, you don't want your team to be top tier, like OP broken, because it will then get nerfed really hard. You want to be just above average, like just above normal, and I think that they are. And I think that as people play them more, probably they're going to come down to how hot are you rolling today? Because all of your redundancy is the wrong word. All of your consistency makes you a slow team. So you've got to make really big decisions about when are you going to not be consistent and therefore have to spend loads of CP to get a really big influential kill. Okay, if you can figure that out and you get the opportunity, you can really, really like stick it home and make the team work well for you. But if you take that at the wrong time and you fluff it, can easily lose the game on that. Or sorry, make the wrong decision. But you get loads of CP. Yeah. I think it's a good team. Got good decision making. It does what it does very well. Just make sure your dice are cooked and you'll absolutely smash face. I wish they'd make kill teams as unique and cool as the Warcry models, where, yeah, it's an interesting one. For a game that, as far as we can tell, was never as big as Kill Team, purely in sales number wise, the fact that Warcry got so much kind of love over its models, whereas Kill Team got, here's some more 40k models, is really weird. I think it's pretty clear that it's different teams working on both projects. And I suspect, as we all know, Age of Sigmar projects seem to be allowed much more leeway in what they're allowed to get away with and what they can do, because they don't lose money if they mess it up. They can only possibly gain money, right? In comparison to 40k. In 40k, hypothetically, they could do something really bad that turns off the player base, and then as a company, they lose money. If people stop buying Age of Sigmar, they've still got 40k. It's fine. They're okay. It's cool. You know? Dante, yes, it will be. I currently have 4, I think, videos that basically I do videos, well, when I can. I do videos far in advance and I put them up for patrons first. I think the last, I can't even remember what they are. Literally can't remember what those videos are. but they're up there. So there you go. So people can go check those out if they want on my Patreon. But yeah, it's just the thing. It's a little benefit I can give my patrons. I'm doing the videos anyway. It will go live on the channel at some point. The exclusive videos that the patrons get are a little bit more. They're like rambles. They're kind of like a live stream, except no chat. And only like an hour. And I do, you know, one a week, maybe every other week if I'm feeling lazy, if I'm playing World of Warcraft, aka, that kind of thing. Yeah, who knows? Yes, obviously that is pure speculation on my part that they have to kind of play it safe with 40k. It's speculation based on what they've done. It's more me, you know, interpreting their actions than speculating, but yeah. Spend less time on the design of Kill Team product they do. Yes, no, I agree. Kill Team feels undercooked compared to what Warcry was. And also, yeah, I mean, yeah, you know, just very different approaches to things as well. I would explain why Age of Sigmar looks so much better instead of 40k. Yes. Agreed. Glad I made one of these live. Have a good night. Oh yeah, you just reminded me. I need to get my Turbulent Time Waves buff. I need to go farm some mounts. I just before I logged on, I got Ashes of Alar on my Druid, which I just slash played. My OG Druid from vanilla, old school. He has 76 days played, which is quite a few days, I think. Or is it 176? That's not to know, really. But yeah, that's quite a while. That's quite a while. Considering, keeping in mind, I haven't played him for like up until Wrath. I played Wrath with him, and that's it. I played Legion with somebody else, a different character. So there you go. Anyway, are you planning to make the 5 teams, 5 lessons a video in public? No, Dante, that'll just be a ramble for me and the patrons there. Because to be clear, there's nothing to talk about. It's just like, oh, I played these games, and like, oh, it was interesting. You know, nothing. Yeah, it's not going to be it's not like a tournament review or anything like that. It's just going to be me having a chat about some games I played. I didn't really learn any lessons. To be clear, that was just something to put on the thumbnail. Yeah, no lessons were learned. It would just be me talking about. Yeah, if I think that's a valuable video where I can actually kind of weave the concept of I have learned lessons through these games, that will be its own video where I'm actually stringing together a narrative to put across a real lesson. I did not learn lessons from these games. There you go. Based, that's right. 76 out of days played. Based. All right, everybody. I'm going to call it at that. The mere 9:08. Thank you very much for coming on along and listening. And if you made it to the end of the video, I'd like to give you a big triple hello. And of course, a big Hydratus Dominatus to you all. Done. That was Tropical Crush by Freeway. Pineapple and grapefruit flavoured soft drink. A little bit of sugar. Not too much. I think I'll survive. There you go. Right. Thank you, everybody. Have a good one. I'll be releasing a video at some point this week. It'll be one of the ones I've stored up. And then I'll see you next week. Have a good one, guys and girls. Enjoy yourselves. Goodbye.